secrets turn to ban. Radiant team ban.
And there, first phase Sven again. Interesting. I know Sin values that hero. I bet they've been.
Yeah.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Turn to ban.
Apparently, I continued playing after I left the match, and my Canadian forces instantly decided to retreat from France.
Oh God.
Whoops. Oh, that's especially bad for them because I was like 50% of the Italian border.
Oh no. Yeah, I look at that game, and that game just looks like the PC version of a board game called Axis and Allies that I used to play with friends back in high school.
Oh, you do? Just grab it and play it.
Oh, I miss. I was talking with Giannis about this. Like, I miss board games, man. My wife is not into board games at all.
Oh, I used to play them a lot as well. Munchkin was probably my favorite thing. If you haven't played Munchkin, Munchkin's worth playing. It's like a D&D card game, essentially. Then the Settlers of Catan's another really good one. Dominion's pretty good. Dominion's a game where you build a deck of cards. It's actually, to be honest, it's a board game version of Dota chess in a fair amount of ways, I guess you could say. Not completely, actually. But there's definitely good overlays. The difference is that you basically build a deck of cards that you can use to just kind of win your game. So it's not that you don't like upgrade them necessarily, but you keep rotating through your deck to create a deck. So as the game goes on, the cards that you get aren't likely to come up as often because you've got a bigger deck. It's interesting. What else there? Ticket to Ride was another good one.
Oh yeah, that one I know. That's super fun.
You can play Flux. Flux is very good as well.
Flux, I don't know.
It's a card game where the rules always change. So you play cards that change the rules, essentially.
Oh man, I'm just like dying to fire up Kaban or Carcassonne or.
You can get a lot of them on Steam now.
Yeah, I know.
Carcassonne is a good one. I was tempted towards Carcassonne. I want to get on the Switch though, and they're charging like 4 times the price on the Switch.
Yeah, I've seen that. I don't know. That's a Nintendo though.
Yep. Oh shit! We better get ready. All right, let's get ready to go live in 5, 4, 3. All right, just like that, we're back, guys. Back for game 2 between Team Secret and Kaban, and we're already underway in the draft. Kaban already feeling like Tusk was never the issue with their draft. They've locked it in straight away. Meanwhile, Secret have gone for the first pick, Rubik.
Yeah, I don't think Tusk was the issue with their draft, but I think this is. I think the issue 100%. We were talking about this off camera. The issue with their draft was the first 3, was the Tusk, Grimstroke, Darkseer. It's just you have to have some synergy with the Grim. You either have to have some synergy with the Soulbind, or you have to have some hero on the opposite side that Soulbind just screws over, or this Grimstroke pick is just going to get super punished. And oh my. Again, you Tusk, Grimstroke, you pick this. A lot of teams are gonna force tri-lanes out of you, and recognizing that, Puppey just comes back with an Undying.
Yeah, this is problematic. What Kaban need to do now with their next picks is identify a way rather to create strong dual lanes. They can't commit to a tri-lane because even with a Tusk, if you go up against an Undying Rubik, these two are probably top 5 for best heroes to have in a defensive tri-lane, right? Because you got the Rubik with the Fade Bolt, and then you got an Undying stacking up the decays.
And you better damn well think about banning Visage. because Puppey will take Visage after this kind of an open, recognizing that if it calls for a tri lane, that Undying Visage in a tri lane is just not going to lose ever. And if it doesn't call for a tri lane, he's just going to put the Visage mid, and he's got two players that can just destroy you 1v1 with that hero.
I think if you do end up picking up the Visage, you try and focus on sticking it in either a dual or solo lane. The awkward thing I've seen every time a team has tried to run the tri lane scenario is, even if you're doing even or just kind of good against it, it's not good enough, because what you're doing is you're sacrificing crap tons of XP on a hero that needs a quick 6.
It doesn't matter. You get so watch a couple games. When Visage is in that tri lane, what he needs is that 6-minute HOD. If he gets that 6-minute HOD, it does not matter, because he just eats towers. Okay, there you go.
So is it me?
Better. I actually think things look a little better for Lifestealer this time.
This feels like Kaban are ignoring what happened last game right now. I mean, this is different picks from Secret, yes, of course.
Yeah.
And the Lifestealer is better against these heroes, yes. But I'm not sure if you want that in combination with the Grimstroke and Tusk.
5 seconds.
Yeah, and you have the same you have the same problem that you mentioned in the last draft, which is that you have this Tusk blocking off your own Lifestealer issue. And Secret, see, that's the thing. The problem with this is that Secret see that, and they're just going to exploit it once again by picking a lineup with this huge mobility advantage. I think Weaver's sick, by the way. I was actually very surprised that we didn't see more Weaver from Secret at the major. Secret runs Weaver at 4 positions.
10 seconds remaining.
4 positions. Everybody but Puppey plays Weaver on Secret.
Hey, he might change that this game. You never know. Undying Offlane.
That's true. Yeah, it is Papan. He's going to do that. But I think Weaver is like a super flex pick for Secret. And when he comes out at this stage of the draft, it's all the more devastating. I mean, you have a lot of information in theory, right? You expect this to be the 3 through 5, but this could easily be Rubik mid. This could easily be mid on Weaver, safe lane Weaver, or Zai off lane Weaver. I mean, it makes it this 3 picks from Secret. Most teams, you feel like, okay, this is going to be their 3 through 5. But all of a sudden, with Secret, you really have very little information.
There's also this frustration now as you see the Weaver come out, right? You've picked both your supports. You can't go for something like a Nyx. The Rubik has already been taken by Secret. You can maybe grab a Centaur here as your offlaner, but at the same time, you're picking a Centaur with an Undying on the field already. No, he's probably going to get aggressed pretty hard.
You have to, and I know you're worried about Rubik, blah, 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 stealing Doom, but you need a Doom, you need a Beastmaster, you need something that has direct synergy with Soulbind. Or why are you picking this hero? Doom's already, okay, yeah, Doom's banned. Good call, but
maybe it's not a bad call on the Beastmaster as well. The Lifestealer benefit from that. But they go for the minus armor strategy. The Slardar works pretty well. This is what I like. You remember I was saying at the start, you can't try and commit to a tri-lane against Secret. This Slardar pick works really well with the Tusk, because it's just a full brawl lane. Even the Grimstroke, you can stick either one with him, and with his new passive, you have the ability to run people down.
10 seconds remaining.
Not saying it's going to be the easiest with a Weaver if you lane up against him.
I'm just thinking about how the lanes are going to work, right? And that, I think Secret is setting up. Secret just has so many more options, it feels like, to the lanes for me.
This is always the issue. I'd say there's a fair statement to be made when you talked about Weaver earlier, right? It's an example of Secret being definitely top 3 when it comes to most flexible teams in terms of what they can play and where they can play. Actually, I'd say, given especially the things that YapzOr does with Luna support and Terrorblade support, probably the most flexible team.
How did you not ban this hero? Come on, Send. Man. Okay, like I 100%, if I saw this coming, Trolls saw this coming. Like, there's just no way. He's maybe the brightest analyst I've worked with.
10 seconds remaining.
And I just don't think you have an. I don't know. Maybe the startup pick does give you what you need to deal with it. You know, if you strip off Gravekeepers, you know, the hero does feel very squishy, but I just think you're gonna get. I think you're gonna get destroyed in lanes as Kaban. I really do.
That's the thing. What was the prioritization? I mean, they get rid of the Terrorblade, which is sure an obvious choice if you're not certain of anything else. The Morphling at the same time did cause huge issues for Kaban last game with a similar lineup.
Man, they're not picking Ursa there. I get upset with Sin because I hold him to a higher standard. I really do. The guy is actually, like, you know, we all like to flame him because he's fun to flame, but he is actually tremendously bright. But this draft is not showcasing it.
It feels like he's just focusing everything on protecting the Lifestealer pick right now, right? By getting rid of the TB, the Morphling, and the Ursa.
Yeah, but that's the classic sort of draft trap. Is you get, you know, you kind of get seduced by the new hotness, Lifestealer in this patch. It's going to be a thing. He's going to be a great hero. I don't care. Single core Lifestealer is always going to suck. Period.
No, it's
like
fair.
You better have something in your pool at mid that is really going to give you some scalability. But I don't think you can pick a Medusa at this point.
Well, it depends how badly you will die. I mean, everyone else will die. The Medusa will live. But yeah, the thing that I'm seeing right now is they have gone for this kind of focused on one hero aspect, and it's become very obvious to Secret. So they just play around that. They create a lineup that can exploit the other lanes if need be. Sure, maybe you don't beat Lifesteal on lane definitively, but you can easily win the other two lanes. And, well, most of the time when you win two lanes, you look pretty kosher going into the mid game.
Yeah, it's surprising to me because one of the things that you've seen with these Synderen teams, right? And he hasn't had the success at the highest levels of Dota that Puppey's had, but he's taken multiple teams that were kind of at the time rando stacks and captained them to TI through the qualifiers. And mostly it's because his drafts always make sense. They're always sort of structured around the current meta in such a way that they're going to be easy to execute and very, very stable. And the first couple of drafts here in this series, they haven't been that. They really haven't.
And then Secret, they're going to round out with the Phantom Assassin, which does counter out the Tusk Grimstroke for the most.
Yeah.
You have that Phantom Strike to escape on the wave. So Kaban are going to be very limited at the points at which they can try and kill the Phantom Assassin. It's going to be based usually around when the creeps are coming in. At the same time, this could just be Nisha running mid on the PA. Likely in the safe lane, though.
I think it's... I mean, that's kind of... I think it depends entirely on the last pick. And that's why I thought this Visage pick was just so incredibly disgusting here for Secret, is that if it is in a tri lane, you have a Visage Undying Rubik tri lane, good luck. Good luck. And if it's mid, you've got two players that are just amazing 1v1 at this hero. That, all right. I don't think it's going to work, but that is really interesting. And that gives them a shot.
Yeah, so you look at this from the perspective that Nisha now has to rush that Battle Fury as fast as possible to deal with the Brood, because no one else really will be able to. And that is going to be
the real question, right, is it gonna destroy the Visage mid? Because the Brood immediately takes the... You're not going to put PA mid against a Brood. You know, you can't. And that now, the trick is you have to then isolate Visage against a hero 1v1 that can beat it. And with mid one or Nisha, frankly, playing Visage, there aren't too many heroes that are going to give it that much trouble 1v1. I haven't seen a Visage Brood lane in a long time. So the question is Nine the kind of Brood player that's going to be able to own that lane against the Visage? If he is, this draft by Kaban could do some damage here.
Yeah,
but
the thing is,
it's entirely on that lane. It really is.
You have to force him out of lane as well. That's the difference for a hero like Visage. Is it doesn't necessarily need gold as much as it needs XP in that scenario, right?
It needs gold. It needs
no. Yeah, in this, like, but this is the difference, right? You talking about the tri-lane example, the Helmet Dominator is a fair shout.
Yeah.
But when you're stuck mid, your expectation is never to win the lane as a Visage. It's to get a quick 6.
No. Oh, no. These days, Visage needs that HOD timing. It doesn't matter whether he's mid or in the side lanes, because he needs to be a tower threat. He needs to be a push threat, right? I mean, he needs to be putting pressure on your tower when he hits that level 6. And if he's behind in gold when he hits that level 6, the birds alone, it's obviously contextual, it's obviously lineup dependent, but I still think that HOD timing is critical.
Might be able to get it as well if they're going to sneak this one through. Mid one has walked up to the top lane, and it looks like Nisha will be mid. He's going for this double stout build.
Yeah. Okay. So what are we gonna do here? Are we really gonna like super sack Nisha here?
He does start with 5 armor. It's not a terrible scenario. It's not the same as a TB that can handle it with, you know, his huge amounts of armor plus double stout. You will feel it a little bit, but you should still be able to CS. And this does enable him to still do the tri-lane scenario. At the same time, well, this is probably unexpected.
It enables them to do the tri-lane scenario, but the absolutely ideal thing, if you're the side of Kaban, is that you just leave the top lane open. Once you see this tri-lane, Sardar's like, all right, well, whatever. I'm gonna just go do things. I mean, because he you know, he's not getting anywhere near this lane, but that's fine because then you're in position to win 2 out of 3 lanes.
They can actually do it.
And you're happy with that.
Who's gonna win on this block right now?
Yeah, look at this right away. I think Secrets recognize that, and Secrets recognize that they need to transition out and do dual lanes. I gotta say, all right, Sind, this is, you know, bravo, Sind, because this brood pick really reset the draft.
We'll see how it goes. Nisha did get a decent block on the first wave. He's missing a few CS, but wondering how you want to go on this. So if you go for the double Wraith ban, I'm not sure how well you do, but what's your alternative choice? I mean, is there any early item that a PA could go here that will allow her to contest the brood? I don't think there is.
No, not after a certain point. I mean, what Nisha needs to do is exactly what he's doing, and that's do as well as he can in the first couple of waves and just maximize the amount of time that he's going to be able to stand in this lane.
It's working pretty well so far.
Yeah, I mean, this is absolutely great.
I mean, in fairness, it is a 10 damage advantage. Playing a little bit of piggy volleyball between the two of them in the meantime. Meanwhile, Puppey is just keeping 2 people busy under the tower.
Yeah, classic Puppey.
I mean, it hurts, but not that badly. It's kind of the power of the Undying. The Tusk Slardar combo is pretty brutal, but not against an Undying. You're 2 strength heroes for a start. And you're both
right,
melee.
Exactly. I mean, he's always going to be getting double decay stacks. That's the big thing.
On the bot lane, how's it looking? Pretty even between the two. This is actually going really well for Secret. The PA, especially in that mid lane.
Well, I think it's one of the big errors that I see some players make is you're in a lane where you're a little bit scared and you know you're going to be at a disadvantage and you play overly passive from the get-go. Like, obviously, PA is going to get, at some point in this lane, is going to get eaten, okay? But the point is that Nisha plays as aggressively as he can. He's not afraid to give up that first death in exchange for just maximizing his time in this lane. But now that Brood has the Soul Ring in level 3, I think he's really going to start to struggle.
Bot lane, going forward on Cinderin. They'll be able to get the first blood as YapzOr gets the final tap. Skidder trying to turn around with YapzOr, but can't do enough. Actually, Skidder's going to take a lot of damage. He needs to back up.
Careful here, yeah.
Yeah, that Blightstone start on Weaver does hurt a lot. And meanwhile, Tusk in the top lane going to go down.
Wow.
And that's no points in Soul Assumption, by the way. That's just double points into the Grave Chill.
Yeah, and just unforced errors here in the side lane coming out from Kaban.
Maybe they're feeling a little bit pressure, like they need to do something, which is fair, because right now, both the Visage and the Phantom Assassin are having a fantastic start to this game. In fact, even Zai, getting that first blood, did pay up in dividends. He's going to go and deny himself to the tier 2. They might know about this, but Cinderon's going to be too late to get XP out of it.
Yeah, quit feeding in the side lanes, guys. I really want to see this. I want to see this mid matchup, and I want to see how this draft plays out. Oh, Zai was laying in wait for the courier there.
Yeah, he couldn't quite find it.
Yeah,
it was taking too long. He suspected it was coming out. He's reading the timing perfectly, but it was on the high ground. And I don't think he would have got it with 2 hits. No, it would have taken a 3rd hit.
All right, this is where you really expect Nine to start putting on the pressure, but doesn't really go for anything. Meanwhile, in the top lane, little trouble for Puppey.
Oh, yep. Gonna get trapped in. Goes to the soul to try and heal up. Is it too late? The bash comes out. Nope. It's gonna wand up. It's gonna be fine. Fiver's gonna be slowed down.
Double melee lane, baby.
Stops them in their tracks, and Puppey will be able to TP back to base while dancing. The victory dance of a man who lives. Keep checking on this mid lane. That's the most interesting thing to watch right now, is how this is going to escalate and how quickly.
I mean, that's the thing that Nisha has really, because he got such a good start. Oh, that's what you needed.
Visage goes down, and so does Lifestealer. Now in a little bit of trouble. Synderen gets onto the tower before more happens. Both the safe laners dying here. Somewhat unexpectedly there. You don't expect the Visage to get caught out like that, but the ice shards were leveled.
I mean, Lifestealer, I think the Lifestealer
diving. Zai's in trouble. He's going to go down. They do actually get him, and return YapzOr will claim a kill, but he'll give his life over for it. Vivek became pretty scary. He did go for the 2 points into the tag team.
Yeah.
Just in time for the roots.
Nice trade. Now, what I'm interested in, I think Visage dying is actually bigger because, again, the importance of that early level and HOD timing.
He's making decent progress. He's got the Bassi. He's got the boots.
I guess I may have just been straight up wrong about this lane. I thought Nisha was going to get forced out of lane way earlier than this, but he appears to be doing just fine.
I think it's just too problematic because of the trade that occurs, right? You aren't going to be leveling into your incapacity and bite early, which makes it very hard to kill Nisha, and it has similar issues to the scenario that I was talking about in the draft with like Tusk, right? Where you just Phantom Strike away. So worst case scenario, Nine can only kill you half the time.
And I think it's just a really smart adjustment by Nisha to just go no boots, double stout, double wraithband, quelling.
And 2 points in blur as well. He's only got one in Phantom Strike.
It's just a couple of again, it's just about maximizing the amount of time that you can stay in lane, and a couple of adjustments here really do affect that calculus. I mean, look at the evade.
Feeling pretty good. And actually, while there is a slight lead for Nine, it's not to the extent that you think. It is 500 gold, because while Nisha is close in terms of CS, keep in mind a lot of that is inflated through the spiders occasionally.
The spiderlings, right. And the other part about that too is that deny advantage of the Brood used to be a level advantage, which is a much bigger deal at this point than the gold that it is now. All right,
Weaver taking a lot of damage.
He's going down.
Almost disappears in the blink of an eye with the rotation. Pays off. I'll even farm up the swarm on the way out.
Yeah, they're just recognizing that Visage being level 6 means that they're no longer going to have the kind of potential in that top lane. So they rotate down to the pure tri lane on the bottom, get a kill while doing so. Talked about the importance of that in the last game.
And Furboss is pretty safe up here. 1 point sprint is usually enough to run away from these guys. And if they jump you too hard, you got the crush to escape.
Yeah, they got to be so thrilled about what they're getting from Nisha in this game. His tower has taken less than 200 damage.
Brood just cutting the creep wave. Meanwhile, TP's up to the top. Kaban want to stop this push because Secret are trying to take the tower. The lift's going to come up, the tombstone down, Snowball. Buys him a little bit of time, but he's going to roll further away from his teammates. When he comes out, they're waiting. Fiverr tries the ice shards to escape, but it's too late.
Shards. Okay.
And Synderen did deny the tower at least.
Nice, and
get something out of it. They still lose one hero, but they do make sure there isn't additional gold leaking into the hands of Secret.
Yeah, and this is where, okay, so it just happened way later than I expected. This is where Brood is just going to start to spiral out of control, right? Because she can exploit those webs, she can do the high ground camps, threaten the mid tower, but Nisha is going to be able to, he's sort of letting Nisha stay in this lane. And even if he doesn't, right, PA is still able to go do the jungle with Blur. Now they do feel compelled to address the top lane push.
Yeah, mid one, getting low, should be able to burn for him, but the bird's going to keep him up, and he's live. He's trying to run off, but it's too late. They spit a few spiders at him, and he hatches some new babies for 9.
Yeah, nice rotation over. This is where, you know, web placement by 9, enabling him to just control broad areas of the map.
They don't have to worry about bot either. Zai is struggling to exist in the lane against Skidder. He can't harass him out, and he can't trade effectively anymore due to the phase boots being on Skidder. It's interesting compared to what we've seen. Yeah, we've seen a lot of treads at the moment when we do see the lifestealer because of the changes. But this is still fine. This hero has flexibility in regards to those items.
And after all that talk, right? This Vlad's choice by mid one is quite revealing about how Secret want to approach this game. You know, this is not a game where Visage is going to be out. At least, if my read is right, it's not a game where he's going to be spending a lot of time pushing lanes by himself, right? There's Secret is setting up for a rotation here to try to catch somebody if they contest this tower.
I mean, it's not just that as well. Keep in mind, you'd be building a Helmet Dominator against the Lifestealer.
True. That's a good point.
Instead, Vlad's a more safe option, something every team needs anyway, and who else would really build on this team? The Visage is only the one that can. Like, you know, you're not going to see it on a Weaver. That seems a bit absurd. We've seen PAs sidestep into that, but you want that Battle Fury as quickly as possible.
I think as Kaban though, you got to be disappointed that this mid tier 1 tower is still on half health.
True. And every time he just tries to aggress Nisha, there's just a few too many evades coming out.
Yeah. There you go. This is what Brood's supposed to do, but this is supposed to have happened 3 minutes earlier.
He finally achieves it. Meanwhile, Weaver is going to get caught out here. Zai still so close, yet feeling so far from level 6. Meanwhile, on the bot lane, mid one never stopped pushing.
Nope.
Why would he?
He's saying, well, he's saying, okay, your Brood's going to push our mid lane, but...
Oh, they do get mid one low. He's going to try and get rid of the Phantom's Embrace. He will get it off. Cinderin needs to back up here. YapzOr has arrived to assist. They can't connect.
Yeah, how many points in Phantom is that? Okay, that's only one Phantom, so he doesn't die to Rend there, but that's still kind of scary.
Well, it's getting pretty low. This is where those birds can backfire against the Grimstroke. The Stroke of Fate adds up as it goes through more targets. Mid one needs to just get out of here.
Collecting that nice 150 gold from a tombstone on a support feels good, man.
The rest of his team zoning out Secret, making sure they're not lingering around. Mid one did manage to eat through the trees to escape because he didn't have a TP on him. A nice eye shot still by YapzOr to make sure no one can pursue. Skidder is doing it again. Midas into Radiance.
Oh boy.
I don't think, like, this game feels even rougher to do it than last because you're up against the PA who you know is going to go for a Battle Fury. So she will farm just as rapidly. And you'll get an advantage at first, sure, but it's going to backfire quickly.
Yeah, she farms pretty well without the Battle Fury. Now they probably will get a kill on Viper here as they get the bird drop stun.
They do trap him in. The double brace won't protect him. Ice shots to try and escape, but the Fate Bolt ensures his
whether
fate.
or not you're going to get a rebuttal here is the interesting part, because if Brood gets Visage here, you're feeling all right about this.
He will be able to run him down. Picked up the defusal, so 9 is pretty spooky now. They'll just try and escape for the birds and everyone else. Oh, birds and Corey included, actually, because that was...
Good read, though, by Zai and Nisha. They realize Brood is rotated down bottom. She's kind of out of... she didn't have that nice direct web path.
By the way, it's a good thing.
Good tower damage.
It's a good thing that Corey didn't get spotted, by the way, because mid one has components weighing on it. And now Nisha does as well. It's got a lot of net worth value on it. The mid one, he's getting close. Just needs to finish off the ring health. He's going back to the Helmet Dominate now. I think it's fine at this point, especially if you've identified the way that the skill wants to play this game is more passive. Then you can try and stage that aggression and force him into fighting.
Well, I think your point about HOD against the Lifestealer was a really good one. That's, you know, something obvious that I had just overlooked, that it loses a lot of value as a first item.
I mean, it should have been obvious, Haas. You want to know why? It's Skidder Lifestealer. There was always going to be a Midas coming out.
Wow, this is true. It's also 6:30 a.m. Anyway.
No, it's not. What are you talking about? It's 11:30 and 12:30.
EU lol.
This is EU. Mid one now does have that helm. Just needs to find a creep before he'll get eaten.
Yeah. You know, you look up and you got to be pretty happy with the game state as Kaban, even with your Brood not having taken over. You know, you're not in a situation in this game where losing your safe lane towers is crippling.
Sure, you have to keep in mind the state of the game and the way this plays out as well. It's not like you're wholly reliant on a Brood taking over the game, right? You've got this Lifestealer, you've got this Slardar. You have the means to find kills and push into the late game.
Well, and you have really quick Roche too. That's going to be, I think, a big factor in that, you know, all of a sudden, as opposed to the Ursa on the board last game for Secret, this Lifestealer should get Aegis. Zai's in a little bit of trouble down here on the bottom lane.
They're going to find him. They're caught out. Not able to escape at all. His teammates nowhere in the neighborhood. Zai just desperately trying to find anything out of this map.
And kind of a mirror image of the last game. 5 deaths here in the first 15 minutes this time.
You mentioned the Roche potential for Kaban. It should be pointed out that actually Secret has a lot as well. Once Nisha gets online, has the Desolator, it melts incredibly quickly. The point is that Kaban can get in sooner.
Right, exactly. And I think the first Aegis in this game is a pretty big asset. That's a DD rune on mid 1.
He's had it for a while, just using it to farm and scare away the big spider lady. Although she'll just move over to your jungle again. And this is the thing. She's taking over this area. Not many heroes at 50 minutes in can invade this area, but they can, and they can find kills on the Zai. He is not respecting them, and he's paying for it. He needs to keep in mind how much he gets screwed over by these Phantoms Embraces. Second time he's been caught out by them in the last minute.
Yeah, and YapzOr does get max duration rage, but I don't think that they're in a great position to use that in the next few minutes, especially with the blink coming online for the DK Phobos Slardar.
They go for it after getting the Helmet Dominator. Have a lot of potential to find now.
DK Phobos, by the way, really underrated as a CIS offlaner. He has been good for a long time, but you know, he's also seen other names from the region like Mag and like Pasha get a lot more press. This guy can play though, and he's a pretty darn good Brood player in his own right.
Yeah, I remember Cinnamon saying that he was actually pretty excited to see what Phobos could do. Looking forward to actually playing with him. Definitely got a lot of potential. There was a lot of hype a few years back around some associations he was having, but it never really went anywhere. Now, mid lane 9, can they lock him in and do anything?
There's just no way.
They need to be careful. They got the limp, they're baiting him in. He went a little bit too deep. Nisha arrives with the Battle Fury online. It cleaves through us enough for the Soul Assumption to finish him off, and Nisha does get the kill.
It's a little bit surprising there that he was kind of not aware of the Rubik being off map, because if he doesn't get lifted there, I think he gets out perfectly fine. And Secret are going to take full advantage of this.
Yeah, moving in the Roche pit, secure it before your opponents can. And I mean, what better value of a Battle Fury reveal than cleaning up all those spiders as well?
Sure.
Especially if it secures you Roche afterwards. Cinder and try and slow us down, knowing there's a lot of them in the pit. They're actually hesitating. They want to find some kills. Delivery Crush coming in. No, Weaver. Zaya's going to go down. He gets found again. Fiverr being slowed down. Already using the snowball as well. The birds can go over the ice shards though. They don't care. They'll stun him up, slow him down. Task will be the sacrificial lamb.
Decent shard block though. It really removes any kill threat on the Lifestealer, and now Brood's going to be back up. The Roche attempt feels that much more awkward here for Secret. So I'd say that rotation paid off. You traded Tusk for another kill on the Weaver, and you stopped that Roche.
Weaver, tear in his eye right now. Zai cannot find anything in this game. I mean, every time we check in, not much has changed. Still got the treads. He's almost got his hands on the Dragon Lance now.
You know, and here's the good question, right? Can Secret do anything about this with Puppey's ult down?
Not sure if they can. I mean, well, they have got the Tombstone, but it's almost done. If they want to go, it has to be now. Biver's trying to slow us down with the Wolf Punch coming out. Saltbiner's going to be on the 2. Link's mid 1 to his own birds, and they've almost finished Roche. They need to get in the pit right now if they want to at all. Nisha going in, looking for the kill on Cinder in. We'll get him low. They're desperately trying to finish this Roche, but no, Lift coming out. Fateful. No, nice. He snatches the Aegis. They didn't get the foul hit onto the Roche, and now they're going to surrender it over. Aegis down. Skidder almost dying. Needs to run for the high hills. He's not prepped to fight. He's prepped to farm. And they're going to farm him. 9 going to try and move away from being slowed down a little bit too much. Tried to skirt them out, but he's going to die for the second time. And, well, you might have got your hands on the Aegis, but you're going to lose a lot for it.
Well, and the two big cores of Kaban just kept hitting Roche.
They're not done yet. They want more. They're going to hunt on the Cinderin as well. He will fall. Nisha with the big crits. And that's the difference, right? That's the thing we see from a lot of these big tier 1 teams. is if you watch around a Roche engagement, the moment they see their opponents probing,
right,
they punish it. They don't continue Roshing.
You know, you have to react there. That's an Undying with his ult down. He is, you know, he's a very fragile 1200 health hero with all these decay stacks. But now you're in a lot of trouble. I was absolutely shocked there that both the Lifestealer and the Broodmother just kept hitting Roche.
Skittle just uses Midas, says, I'm almost at Radiance, guys. I'm not sure how much of our base will be left when I have it. Maybe something.
Very little.
Oh, they're going to Skittle
this at this point.
If he got crit once, he probably would have died there. That's pretty lucky for him. Nisha will work at the racks instead of working at the heroes. They can't go for a second lane because the tier 2s are still up.
Yeah, and this is the power of Visage. This is why I think they should have banned that hero. You know, you get one big mid-game win like that, and Vlad's HOD medallion, he just takes your base so fast.
I mean, more than medallion now. He's got the gold for the Solar Crest. Suddenly, this Lifestealer is going to feel like paper. A big stack of paper, but paper nonetheless.
He really is. And again, you look at, because of that death, you look at the progression now, and he's still short of his Radiance.
Getting close, especially with the D-wards.
I talked about in the last game that I think it was not fair to second guess the Midas Radiance in the last game because he was so far ahead. He did think he had that kind of a cushion. You can't do that in this game though. You know the strat that you're playing against. You know how quickly you can take the racks.
Inkswell and Inkswell, double stun's gonna come out. YapzOr should fall, and Puppey trying to buy enough time for his team to arrive, and it might actually achieve the goal as Zai is now in the lane. Cinder will go for the TP away. And they do enough damage? It's gonna be close, but no, the Shikuchi doesn't finish him. Fiverr hasn't got a TP though, and they'll realize that very quickly. Dagger's gonna come out to slow him down. Nisha will leave the kill for Zai. Snowball comes out. Tuff's just trying to delay his death.
That is also the power of that flat health bonus of the Undying ult now, is that all of a sudden you're going on Undying, you know that that's a low armor hero, even though he's got the casual buckler, which I quite like in this game. But all of a sudden he pops that ult, he's got 400 extra health, he's going to get decay stacks coming in, and you have to worry about a reprisal.
I mean, you say you love that buckler, it's Puppey. When does he not build a buckler?
Sure.
Kind of become his signature thing in the last year or so.
Year or so? Oh, I think longer than that.
Yeah, I know. But I don't think people appreciate it as much in the past.
Fair enough.
When you think back to the good old days where you'd have heroes that were built into items that use the buckler very easily. You do now with the Crimson Guard, but still. And
look at this, and Skittish still is going into this mana style just undeterred. Yeah, that's a whole lot of gold tied up in items that are not going to help you in these fights right now.
Becoming a problem. BKB is almost ready for 9. But the problem is, it's not magic damage you're dealing with as much as it is physical. When you think of the Weaver, the PA, and the Visage, they're bursting you down through physical, not through magic.
Yeah, you have a Vlad's on your 4-position Tusk, so DK Phobos is going to build into Crimson Guard as his next item. He is set up here with Lifestealer inside him. This is something that we just haven't seen yet. Are we going to be able to get a great initiation here on top of... unfortunately, if you had the Lifestealer initiation in Brood Hatter BKB, I think you'd be in business. As things are, you still got to play this carefully.
Okay, just move Phobos around and let your Lifestealer farm with the Radiance, right? Sits there and doesn't take creeps. Problem is, he can't use his Midas while he's in there. And it has been off cooldown for a bit. 9. Lift's going to come onto him. He's trying to get back in the base. He won't be able to do the crits come out. Now Skidder forced to go with the initiation from Phobos. They are zoned out. They can't find anything. YapzOr slowing things down. Won't actually die here. The Crimson Guard protects him. They lose 2. At least get Skidder back in the base. But for what? Because they are chasing forward right now. They jump in with the Phantom Strike. Skidder. One big crit comes out. He's just going to disappear. In fact, they didn't even get it. They still kill him off. And alongside that, Cinderin does fall. And your base now even deeper. Fiverr being slowed down. The shards on shards. YapzOr with the steals. And Viver's like, what do I do? What do you want from me, team?
At 25 minutes, I don't think you can really do anything in this game anymore. It's you gotta figure when you see that Weaver in that position, looking like he's alone, that's a bait. That's kind of what Zai is gonna do in this game.
Oh, he's identified how much they want to kill him. And a backfires for them. The GG comes out. It's a secret duos Kaban.
Yeah, a result that I don't think anybody's surprised by. A little bit disappointing. I think that the Game 2 draft obviously was a lot better from Kaban. The Brood pick looked like it could have been inspired, but you know, I think the little adjustments by Nisha early on that enabled him to stay in lane against that Brood, you know, so that even though that the Brood Mother was looking like she's getting scary, your PA is still getting farmed. She can still do her job. That